Welcome to the eBay barn. As you can tell outside, it is a rainy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, not Thursday. We got some nasty storms coming in this way. I'll give you a little look at it, see if we can. We have been busy all day long, and as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, I'm hobbling around. I smashed my foot, so that's awesome. We were putting stuff in the dumpster, and I happened to slip, and I smashed my foot. Now I can't walk. And check out storms out. They always come in from this way, I'm pretty sure. It looks like it's coming this way. And I thought last time it came from that way. Which way is that cloud moving? I don't know. But as you can tell, definitely raining. Grayson is completely empty. We did a storage unit today. Woke up at 5 o'clock, was in the gym super early today. And then after that, we came home. Was out there by 7, and from 7 to 12, we did that whole entire unit. It was a 10 by 10. So Grayson's empty, Woodrow's empty, and then the OG does have all of the furniture in it that we're going to end up selling on Facebook Marketplace. Not a whole bunch. We did give some to, again, Kayla's parents and everything. We've already sold a whole bunch. The last unit was good. It's going to be interesting. It was one of the cheapest units that we have ever bought, and we did have $1,400 in sales. Because the other day I did go ahead and I told everybody that there was stuff on eBay about the Donald L. Reed. And some people did reach out and everything and say, hey, I want this, this, and this. And then we did a couple private sales and one big private sale. I'll show you the Donald L. Reeds. And we're happy to get the money for them just because sending them to other auctions was not an option. And also, if you can tell, which you probably can't real quick, but I do have a couple on Whatnot, like number 77. What is that, an artichoke? No, that's an okra. I got an okra here. So we are trying to sell out of all of them. I do have a couple more pieces actually from the Millionaire Locker that I might let go on Whatnot, or I might let it go on eBay that I want to show y'all. And one is I can't find it anywhere on Google. And it's these crystals back here. I don't know if you would call them crystals or anything, but it's these. If you guys remember these from the Millionaire Locker, I still have all of these. I have this one, which I thought was pretty cool, and I can't exactly find anything on them, and they just have little numbers on them. I mean, look how pretty that thing is, right? So I don't know exactly how to sell it, where to sell it. I don't know the maker of them. I don't know who the sculptor was, the glass sculptor, and we have a big boy down here. Check this one out. I don't think I've actually showed these in a long time. And then I got this one right here. Big piece of glass or crystal there. And we just, and they do come with the stands for them. But I kind of been hiding them back here just because I don't know what to do with them. I cannot find out. There's just a small number on them. Like one's like numbered like 438. The other one's numbered like 225 or something. And I just can't find the actual person or the artist that made those or the sculptor that made those. So I just don't know. This thing sold though. The cranberry guy sold for $100 plus shipping. So we're gonna go ahead and get this packed up and shipped out. Make sure we'll have to go downstairs for the big box. We have not, one of my like blocks I have right now is actually going to get our shipping stuff in. Because as you know, what we used to do for shipping is that we used to buy from Uline. The thing is that Uline could get to the 18-wheeler, could, drop it off, and they would do a pallet jack. And the issue is right now is that they're going to drop it on the street, which means we have to be here. See, before, a lot of times we did not have to be at the residence. They would drop it off if it wasn't raining. And even if it was raining, it was pretty much saran wrapped up. So now we're trying to figure out our shipping issue about getting large quantities of shipping supplies in. We do not have a skid steer. Skid steers, they cost an exorbitant amount of money. It would be a total business expense, but you still got to pay for it. That's the one thing about write-offs, right? Where a lot of people are like, yes, it's a business expense, write-off. You still got to pay for it. The skid steers, newer ones are like $90,000. I didn't know that. I thought you could pick up a skid steer for like 20 grand. And 20 grand's a ton of money for it. It would be a lot cheaper than 100 grand. But these things are very, very expensive. So the skid steer is 100% out of the question. There's no way we could afford that. That's where the little like older tractor idea came in about doing that. And that is quickly coming to a real idea, because the way I got hurt today was because I was picking something up and throwing it up over the dumpster, and I missed because it was super heavy and it came down to hit me. And if I had like the forks on the tractor, I would have just picked it up with a tractor and threw it over the side type of deal. So that might actually happen because, you know, you got to save your backulator and your feet-elators. Because if you're doing your backulator and your feet-elator, how you going to get around? Is what I'm saying. So enough chatting. I'm going to go ahead and pack this up. And then after that, I'll tell you what Donald L. Reed sold. I just wrapped the cranberry rake up with another sale of a gun parts. And I'll tell you that we just found another huge problem. These problems are starting to compound, as you can tell, one after the other since we moved in this place. And we kind of knew like this was kind of going to happen. That's why I'm not surprised. If anything that goes wrong here, these are old buildings. Very old buildings. And, you know, they were redone and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still an old building, which means you're going to have problems with it most likely. So, but real quick, this is a Remington 870 12 gauge express buttstock with bolt and pad. The bolts inside of here, this sold for $50 plus shipping, so they're like 65 bucks all in. So as I'm sitting here, it rained really good for the last probably 30 minutes. Not like a sprinkle, like an actual downpour. The backyard again is all wet, but it's pretty much all dried up at this point. I'm telling you, when she actually flows, it's flowing good, but we have an issue, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to turn on some more lights so you can see. Is right up there is a tiny water right there, right? And it must have been doing it for a while because you can tell. See how, I guess the whole place looks like that. Okay, maybe you can't tell, but there's water leaking up here. But as you can tell down here, it was a pretty big spot right here. And this is an old building. Basically, it just drains through the floor into the garage area. But as you can tell, this area right here is a different color, which means that most likely, and see like in there, it's all kind of swelled up. That's from it probably getting wet. No mold or anything like this place, because there's so much airflow through this place, such as this old building. There's a little moisture here. It's cracking around here. There's a little bit down here, and it all stems from Mr. Chimney here. Now the problem is I like exposed brick, but already these chimneys are just so much issues. I would probably think, because they did a metal building on here, they probably didn't flash the chimney correct, and it's leaking around the chimney. Now, do I do that 100%? No, I don't know that 100%, but it's leaking around the chimney a good bit. The crazy thing, I've been in here in really heavy rains. Like the last heavy rain, I was in here, and it wasn't leaking. But it had to be leaking because the floor is showing that it's been leaking for a while. This building itself, now the house, we're doing things in the house top notch. Like even the electrical work in the house was technically correct. We actually just did it better. We spent a lot of money in the electrical parts of that house. Now everything is 100% correct in there. And also in this building, we made sure everything was correct in this building electrically, because I think that's important. Electric causes, you know, some fires here and there, so you definitely want that correct. But like this building right here, this is an old building. We ain't trying to spend a ton of money in this. So whatever that leak is, we're doing the cheapest route. Now, like we said last time, the chimney's got to go. The cheapest way is just to let the chimney stay there, obviously, on the bigger house, and just deal with the moisture issue as it goes, and kind of let the house continue what it's been doing for the last 85 years. The thing is that the problem's just going to get worse. Now, this building has been here 100 years also, and she's not like that house, though. Like, that house has been redone fully. It's an expensive house. It has a lot of new things on the inside. This is honestly just an old barn. That's all this is. It is climate controlled, which we liked, but it's perfect for what we do. We don't have to baby it. We don't have to worry about the walls in here, and that's really why we bought it. So this leak right here most likely is going to be coming from the chimney. I don't know how we're going to address this problem. It's 2 stories up. Maybe me and Dad can get in a lift and figure it out. Hey, first I'm telling Kayla, we got a leak.
Where?
See it? I think it's been leaking for a while. See it? Little drop of water up there. And then it drips right here. All this was full of water. And see, I was just showing everybody. See how that looks funny?
Yeah.
That's probably from water draining. Water coming in from the front door. Like the actual door?
Yeah. At the bottom. There's water on our floor.
Hold on, we're checking all the leaks in the house. As you can tell, she's been doing this for a couple hours now. We gotta run over there real quick. All right, so you're saying there's water coming in from the door. This window leaves the old door. Well, there's probably not a lot of water here. That's what I'm saying. Which means that it might be leaking from up there. It could be just coming in from right here.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot. That still looks horrible. All right, but it wasn't way out here.
No.
Okay, and that's not a lot of water. Okay, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
The barn has significantly more water. Another issue we had when the water blows is the upstairs sometimes leaks. We first thought it was just the ridge cap. Now we're not 100% sure if it is just the ridge cap, but let's take a look. Oh, right here, look. Water. It's coming in from somewhere over here. Right there's water. Crazy. We have us a leaky house. Now, what I can see is I can actually move this. Just make sure this ladder don't fall on me. I need a bigger ladder. There looks all weird and terrible looking. There's definitely water coming in over here.
So it's running down the wall.
It's running down the wall, like from here and coming down there, hitting something and coming out, for sure.
And dropping here.
Yep. On the poor dog. Poor doggy! He's catching. That's why I put him there.
Yeah.
It's because I knew that was going to be an issue.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is go ahead, get this thing fixed back up, and just one of them things, just one. Maybe this is the money pit.
No.
Have we thought about that? What's over there? Is that a big bug? Have we thought? Are we Tom Cruise and... It wasn't Tom Cruise, it was Tom Hanks. Are we Tom Hanks and that other lady?
This isn't Top Gun.
This ain't Top Gun. This ain't Goose. Alright, well, it is what it is. We're gonna go in the other house, see how bad it's leaking. Alright, so we just came back over to the eBay barn. It is pouring down rain again, and there's completely dry here. We can see from the other house that the flashing on the roof looks a little weird around the chimney. So I'm gonna guess something's going on there. We'll get a roofer guy out here and say, hey, the cheapest fix possible on this place, because she's old, she's rough, she's tough, she's made to be wet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's actually true or not. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pack up Mr. Buttstock here after that field trip around. It's actually like a scavenger hunt now, or Easter egg hunt, like where's your house leaking? You know what I'm saying? Kayla did not think that's funny. So we were back outside, and after the heavy rain, I don't know where we moved. It's like the rainforest right now. It is raining a ton. So all that's actually just like obviously flowing through there. That looks pretty good. We're gonna grade all this, obviously, make sure it's going down there. But up here, it almost has created quite a swimming pool in the front yard. That's all the water that's gotta move away from the house. And it will move. We just got to get this graded where all this can start traveling down that way a lot faster. But we will make it happen 100%. This is not a huge deal. We're just going to take our hits as they come, for sure. I think up here, I mean, I'm not a roofing expert. We will get a roofing expert. See that little piece of flap hanging up? I'm not saying it's leaking from there, but it's definitely leaking around the chimney. Again, hopefully we can go up there and throw some goo or something to make that not leak, because we don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on this building. It is what it is. But our other issue in this house is right up here next to that curlicue thing. No idea what's going up there. I just talked to Dad, and what he's going to do is go ahead. We'll start looking for a roofer just to inspect the roof, see what's going on there. We have no other leaks, luckily. And I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. And then we have decided, after we knock down the chimney, Dad and I are actually going to go ahead and do the rest of the work. We're going to have to pay somebody else to do it. It's not high. We don't like being up. Actually, I don't like being up too terribly high, but we'll do the rest of the work ourselves. We'll do the roof line, we'll do the shingles. It's not that bad. It's just a tiny little repair on the front. But then what we can do is that we can keep the inside. We don't want anything messed with the inside or anything like that. We're just basically repairing the roof at that point and the roof line. Now, the big question is how much water is in here? So this water right here that's actually basically when we bought the property, right before we bought it, we had a real heavy rain, and this is what we saw in here, and we didn't see any flooding back there. No flooding there, but like I said, that was considerably less rain than it was. The old cub is dirty. I'm so sorry, but everything else is looking good. This is where it's leaking from up above. This is the chimney, so it should be coming through the floor, I'm assuming, is what I'm guessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's definitely coming through somewhere where the water's coming through the floor, possibly. Like I said, it's an old building, and we'll have to move some of this stuff out of the way. There's some mortar up in there. Well, I ain't seen something like the rafters are not rotted, which that's the most important thing. The floor joists. I think I said that wrong the last time. But Nothing's really rotted. Nothing's really wet. There looks like some wetness there. And let's do one of those things. Like, we're going to have the professionals do, like, the roof. Dad and I would do the roof. The thing is that I ain't walking that roof again. I'm deathly scared of heights. And, which is funny because you can see me. I can get underneath that. I'm not claustrophobic is what I'm saying. The crawl space, easy for me. Heights, not so good. And then we'll get somebody to do some heavy lifting when it comes to the chimney. We'll knock that down, and then Dad and I can do the rest of it. And it's important to get, like, you know, have people on your side that's experts, that's really good at what they do, because we just got a notice in the mail about we pay a ton of taxes. Everybody pays a ton of taxes, you know what I'm saying? Like federal taxes, and then when you own a business, you pay a ton of different types of taxes. You pay self-employment taxes, you pay payroll taxes. Now there's another tax that our bookkeeper knew about it, and everything, and something happened where it didn't get paid, not on time. I guess they were just sending us a letter, but then a form wasn't filled out. It's so hard. I am telling you, owning a business is much harder on the back end than people think, and even what I thought of everything that needs to go on. So there was a form that needed to be filled out about the Department of Employment and Workforce called DO, and then you had to do this through a thing called Suites in South Carolina. Now, in South Carolina, you already have something called My Doorway, which is where you're paying all your other taxes, use taxes, your income taxes, property taxes on the business side of things. If you buy something, all those, it's a ton of taxes. It's like a list of taxes that we pay on certain items and everything like that. That's not including your income taxes, your property taxes, your federal income taxes, your payroll taxes, your self-employment taxes, ton of taxes. Then there's this other one called Due and Sweet sent to some and said, hey, you're getting fined $1,000 a day if you do not fill out this form. Like, what form are you talking about? So there has to be a report filled out stating that how much your employees make in your business per quarter, and then they tax that. The business does. So then the business pays more taxes because it's for unemployment insurance. So if I fire myself, I could get unemployment in unemployment, I think, because I fired myself because I own the business. I don't understand it. I don't understand how owners are considered employees if you are 50-50. I don't know. South Carolina hit us with it. We called our tax person, and the bookkeeper said, disregard that. That's already been taken care of. It was actually, we didn't get it for 20 days because we didn't check the mail. Our mail is actually at the other house, and I've already changed all my stuff. All my stuff is changed to this address. They're still sending it there. Tax person said, don't worry about it. It's already been taken care of. Here's the proof of that. Bada bing, good to go. But that's why it's so important. If you don't know, ask somebody. I was never a big advocate of that. I was like, I can do this on my own. I can do everything on my own. I don't need people's help. I'd rather figure it out myself. When it comes to taxes, roofs, and probably some other things, electrical work, I don't want no parts of it. I will pay the professionals to do whatever it is that they do. But when they sent us that, we were like, $1,000 a day. They're out of their mind. Like, that's crazy. But just know there's a lot that goes on the back end that we get hit with constantly. So if it's happening to you, just know it's happening to everybody. And just keep going forward. These things are just little steps throughout life that are not that bad, is what I'm saying. It can be so much worse in life that when we know a little leak in the roof or a little form we didn't fill out, it's just literally paperwork. And that's what this is. This whole business is just paperwork. And if you want to talk about real paperwork money, that's another thing. All that is paper. It's just a way to figure out what you want to do in life. So, and I think it's actually pretty exciting to work on the house and then get to see the result in it. So, like I said, I was going to just pay people to do it, but Dad and I just had a good conversation on the phone. And I said, I know we can do it. I mean, he can still do it. He has the know-how, and I can do it. So I was like, hey, why don't we just do it, and that'll be good to go. I think it's going to be fun doing the drainage because we get to see exactly and know exactly what we're doing, and then that'll be good to go type of deal. So my rant is over, I promise. I just want you to know that there's things that happen, and just keep going one step at a time, one step at a time. You might get knocked back a couple steps, but just keep going. I'm telling you, you can do it. If it's about selling on eBay, if it's starting live selling, if it's actually anything in life, if it's doing your drainage outside, if you're physically able, go out there and just give it a shot. But if you do need the expert and you're like, I know I can't do this, don't be afraid to ask experts. Say, hey, what do you got going on? Because I'm telling you right now, taxes are one of those things I just can't wrap my head around. I actually try to do research on the Department of Employee and Workforce, and I still didn't understand what they were saying. Like, I read stuff and I was like, I don't understand what you're saying to me, why I have to pay this. Then the form itself was even confusing with payroll and this. And luckily, our tax person is also our bookkeeper, and they do our payroll because we are on payroll for the business. And it's just crazy. It was just so many numbers. And I was like, I have no idea what any of this is. All I know is I like to hold a cell phone and make a couple videos. You know what I'm saying? All that rest stuff I don't like. So, but a lot of big things happening at the house. I know this video was probably just a whole bunch of talking and walking around and just speculating and finding leaks, but this is our day today. We actually just had another sale. I'm gonna go pull it. Kayla just saw the front yard, and now she's gonna make a moat to let the water drain. She's doing a fantastic job. Look at that. Your moat working skills is amazing. Look, just relieving the pressure. Look how water just moves. It just wants to move to lower ground, you know? But this is basically what Dad and I are gonna do, is go ahead and make this stuff move quickly to the backyard. Now see right here, all it's gonna do, because we haven't waterproofed the foundation yet, is Dad and I are gonna waterproof the foundation, where right now it's just literally seeping probably through that brick. I bet you we can go fishing in this thing. I wonder how many gallons of water that is just sitting there. Hundreds of thousands. Doubtful. Willow is not happy with none of this. And see, this was the issue here, is that it would just then go straight underneath the house. Is that your diverter? That's what the guy did that sold us the house. He just put those diverters in. He's doing a fantastic job. I like holding the camera, I think. You know what I'm saying? This is solid work of yours. All right, so as it flows from there all the way down here, runs under the house there, and then it sits here. This is also going to be a huge issue with the drainage as it's sitting here. We do have some ideas, but it's a work in progress, like I'm saying. That's all this is, big work in progress. Enough about the drainage issues of the house. Let's go pull that order. So we did just have a Cleveland Launcher Cop 10 Launcher Stiff Flex golf club sell for 25 bucks, and I was gonna come in and actually pull it. We did our little moat thing outside, and it says it was placed by mistake. I'm afraid the head is too small. So we will go ahead and improve and relist. We actually just dropped a video on the Bearded Thrift Machine. It's one of the last storage unit videos of the mystery storage unit, and then after that we are starting another one. So that ain't too shabby. It is now pouring down rain again. Actually, we have a really good view of this side of the house out here when it comes to rain. This is one of my favorite places too. I'm telling you, it seems like we've been just having troubles a lot out of this place, but it is still our favorite place that I've ever lived. Just because the character of it, it's old, it's neat looking. It's just a neat looking house for sure. See right there how Kayla put that on there? It's just gonna continue to drain over here, then underneath the house, but we'll fix all that. That is not horrible. And then we did have a person stop by and say they didn't like the, I don't know what they would call, like window shades or whatever. I actually like them up there. I don't think we're gonna take them down. What's y'all's opinion about these? Take them down or keep them up? Because we'll have a roof guy, so we'll have somebody on the roof. We could get him to take them down or leave them there. I think they actually give the place a little bit of character. We said we were going in the house to relax, but it hasn't happened because there's a ton of jewelry and everything right here. But we did find, actually you found this in a storage unit that I had missed. It was in a box, and it is stamped 14 karat gold, and it is weighty. Very, very weighty, and it just scratch tested 14 karat. This might be able to pay for like one drain. You know what I'm saying? Or like one chimney being knocked down.